All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So the Jets just wrapped up another training camp practice, and this is again, it's a big week. Things are really picking up here, right? Obviously, the first preseason game for every NFL team is over. Now we're looking ahead to week 2. We got the Carolina Panthers this weekend. Before that game, though, we have the joint practice on Thursday in Charlotte. So practices today, tomorrow, Wednesday, joint practice Thursday, nothing Friday, game Saturday. But as far as this practice goes, apparently it was kind of 50-50. The offense looked good at times. It was choppy at times. Rodgers, would throw a great touchdown, but then he would come back with an INT. So again, I think whenever, and by the way, one thing that I was kind of thinking about really throughout these last couple of days, since the Washington game, how do the Jets go back to the drawing board practicing against themselves, right? Because we know the Jets defense is flat out elite, right? So to go from the joint practice against Washington, that preseason game against Washington, back to practicing against ourselves, I wonder what that jump entails, right? As far as like difficulty. Now, of course, you have more familiarity with your own squad, obviously, but it's still interesting to think about. And then, as far as Carolina is concerned, I think they're on the same tier as Washington as far as, not in a sort of disrespectful way, but just a step down from the Jets defense. So I cannot wait for joint practice. I love them. I think they're going to, I think this week is going to be awesome with the amount of Jets updates that we got. As far as this practice is concerned, though, still no Hassan Reddick. I mean, it is what it is at this point. The Jets D-line coach, Aaron Whitecotton, said that whenever Reddick does show up, he would not come in right away and just, be that full-time participant. There's going to be a bit of an onboarding process. And, we're at the point where Reddick has skipped over 20 days, right? Skipped over 20 days. He's been fined so much money. I mean, you got to think a solution is at the end of the tunnel, but I've been saying that for 20 days, right? I've been saying that since we traded for him, right? Maybe an extension's coming, 1 year, 2 year, maybe it's a reworked 1 year thing, for this season. But I mean, geez, this whole thing right now is just a disaster, but whatever. He's not here. I think the Jets are going to be fine without him. But of course, with him, we're on a different level. But as far as Olu Fashanu, they actually put him at right tackle today. So he did get some snaps there. And then Saleh addressed it after in the post-practice presser, saying that they're going to be doing that a little bit more. I mean, I feel like I've voiced my opinions on Olu playing, left tackle to right tackle to left tackle to, going back and forth. I just want to stick him at left tackle and just move forward, move forward in that one direction. Personally, I do understand the argument. Okay, you want to get him swing experience. He's not going to be playing this season. You can put more responsibility on his plate as a backup because, again, he doesn't have to prepare, every single week like he is the starter. You could give him that extra opportunity in practice to get some experience at right tackle. But my kind of thought process is Olu's always been a left tackle. He's built to be a left tackle. He is going to be the left tackle both, in the short term, potentially later this season, and long term of this team. That's why he was the 11th overall pick. Let's just keep him at left tackle, right? He wasn't drafted at 11 to be the team's swing tackle. Again, I'm not saying I'm right. This is just my personal take. I don't understand why some people are just listed as, okay, no, you have to be, you have to have swing tackle experience, and then some just, no, you're a left tackle. Like, for example, Dwayne Brown, he was just exclusively a left tackle, and there was just no arguments. There was no questions about him moving over to right when the Jets, were having some depth issues. It was Becton. He was the one that had to move. It's been Carter Warren. He's had to bounce around. It's been Max Mitchell. He's had to bounce around. Tyron Smith, though, nope. He's specifically the left tackle. It's almost like you have to earn your stripes or something to specifically be left tackle. I don't know. I just want to see Olu at left. Not saying that right tackle is going to hurt him, but I think what we've seen in the past are not only a bunch of guys getting hurt, but we've also seen the question raised by players. Okay, this constant movement is not benefiting the health in any way. It's actually potentially could be hurting these players. maybe that's a reason why these guys are getting hurt, because they're moving positions weekly, almost daily in the past. So again, Fashanu going to be taking snaps at right tackle. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's what the Jets are going to be doing. Now, as far as Mike Williams is concerned, he was out there. He was looking good, according to Nick Ferria. Looked solid, but of course is not in team drills. Saleh addressed it afterwards. After the recent comments of saying that Mike Williams is further along than they initially thought. He's still actually a couple weeks out from team drills. That's and I guess couple weeks is, that's subjective. How long really are we talking here? But I mean, we only got a couple weeks before the start of the regular season. So I guess what I'm thinking, what I'm assuming here is that Mike is going to be, doing these individual drills and whatnot. He's probably going to be involved in team drills the week of the 49ers game. That's kind of my assumption. Again, if Saul is sitting here right now, August 12th, and saying, okay, he's not going to be participating in team drills for at least a couple weeks, okay, it does make sense. It does line up for that 49ers game. I don't really see a situation where Mike Williams misses that first game. I guess everything is on the table, but I got my fingers crossed that he's going to be playing, and that was the expectation when the Jets signed him. He's going to be ready for week 1. Now, the last thing I want to end off on, supposedly the linebackers had an incredible day. CJ Mosley, Jamie and Sherwood, Quincy Williams. You look at these linebackers, whether it was in the joint practice, whether it was in the preseason game against Washington, whether it's been the years of, play from these guys. Look, I don't want to be a Jets homer here, but do the Jets have a top 4, top 5 linebacking core in football? I mean, I think the answer is yes, right? San Francisco is obviously freaking elite. But man, like when I look at the Jets' talent, when I look at the Jets' depth, the speed that we have at the position, the veteran leadership, the defensive IQ, each guy has a cutout role. It seems like everybody continues to get better with time. CJ Mosley is not slowing down in the slightest. When we look at the linebacking crew for this Jets squad, talk about just having such a solid presence, like right in the middle of the field. We know we have some young guys in the back end at safety. We have talent on the outside, talent on the inside with Michael Carter. The defensive line is no joke, but to have that glue in the middle of the field, the linebacker position, and I feel like a lot of people are down on like the off-ball linebacker these days. It's so important to have good off-ball linebackers, right? When you're talking about coming up and stuffing the run, if you don't have talent there, if you don't have speed there, if you don't have awareness there, you are going to get carved up. Quarterbacks are going to carve you up over the middle of the field if you don't have talent at that position. So the Jets are stacked, right? The Jets are stacked at that specific spot. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.